So why isn't Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, Wolverine, The Flash, or any of the other Avengers in the Avengers movie? Hashtag or am I mistaken? Aaron, you are very much mistaken, particularly about The Flash. That isn't even Marvel. Why do the X-Men and Avengers live in the same universe, but the X-Men are hated for their powers while the others are superheroes? Can I just put forward a mind-blowing idea? What if they don't live in the same universe? Don't understand why Wolverine isn't in the Avengers. He's like the best one. Okay, personally, I'm not a comic book expert. I don't know too much. But I don't think there was any point when Wolverine was an Avenger, so how can he be the best one? Just saw Avengers Age of Ultron. I love that they're merging some of the X-Men characters into it, but why did they change Quicksilver's actor? This is gonna be fun. Hello there! How you doing? The X-Men can wipe the whole Avengers. That's why they didn't include them in the MCU. No. The reason they're not in the MCU is because they were bought by 20th Century Fox before the MCU even existed. Why don't the X-Men help the Avengers in a crisis? Also, why doesn't Harry Potter help Luke Skywalker in trying to defeat Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader? X-Men in the MCU. 100% voted for yes, 0% voted for no. How? Don't worry, it's only got one vote. Oh, that's fine. So basically, to put it simply, Marvel went bankrupt in 1996. And as a way of making some quick cash, they sold some of their biggest franchises, like X-Men and Fantastic Four, to 20th Century Fox. They also sold Spider-Man to Sony and I don't know how to say his name, to Universal Pictures. Meanwhile, Marvel Studios, the company that makes the Marvel films, which is owned by Disney, started making films with the characters they had left, like Iron Man, Captain America, The Incredible Hulk, and Thor. And all these films are in one single universe. This universe is referred to by us common folk as the MCU, or the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Hence why loads of these superheroes team up in the Avengers. There's this really nice Venn diagram which explains it, and as you can see, unfortunately Disney don't own the rights to Fantastic Four or X-Men, which means they're not part of the MCU. If the Avengers and the X-Men exist in the same universe, why aren't they acknowledged in each other's movies? Why have you assumed they exist in the same universe? They don't. They're owned by different companies. Watching the Avengers, and why isn't Spider-Man in the movie? I know that Spider-Man isn't in the X-Men, but like there are so many comments about this. But seriously, why isn't Spider-Man in the Avengers? He lives in New York! What was he doing during this huge battle? Well, actually, Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man in the whole MCU timeline was probably just too busy at school, you know? He probably had homework or something. Why isn't Spider-Man in the Avengers movie? I mean, both are Marvel, Stanley? Sorry, we need to return to this Venn diagram. People just don't seem to understand. And to be fair, Spider-Man is a bit of a more complicated case. Apparently, Sony retains the standalone movie rights to Spider-Man, but Marvel get all the creative control over him, which I basically take to mean that both companies make a truck ton of money. The other complicated case is of course Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, because as you can see, the Venn diagram overlaps. And of course Quicksilver appears in both the MCU and X-Men with two different actors playing the same character but from different universes. And oh boy, does this cause confusion. Like, there was a whole complicated law case between Fox and Marvel when it came down to this, and I don't even blame you if you don't understand this. I'm still kind of confused, to be honest. Not understanding why Marvel doesn't use Quicksilver from X-Men in the Avengers. It would make life so much easier. 2 Quicksilvers is dumb. Also, it's just kind of like one small little problem called copyright. How can Quicksilver be in Age of Ultron if he's a mutant? X-Men belongs to Fox and the MCU belongs to Disney. Oh, well, that's interesting. That's the complete opposite of what everyone else is saying. It's still wrong, though. Why isn't Andrew Garfield Spider-Man in the Avengers? Because that movie was made by Sony. Like, have you not seen it? There are Sony product placements everywhere. So as I've said, 20th Century Fox has the rights to X-Men and basically the whole concept of mutants, whereas Marvel Studios has the rights to the Avengers, like Iron Man and Captain America. In the comics, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are mutants because they're obviously the children of Magneto. They have mutant powers, but they belong in both the X-Men and the Avengers in equal capacity. So when they started making the movies, Fox and Marvel had to come to an agreement on who got to use them. And because in the comics they're both mutants and Avengers, it was very hard for one party to say, well, it's more X-Men than Avengers. The compromise they came to is that Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are able to be in any X-Men movie, but they couldn't make any mention of them being an Avenger, or the fact the Avengers even existed for that matter. They were also allowed to use the whole Son of Magneto history, which of course is said in X-Men Apocalypse.
He's my father.
What?
Meanwhile, when Marvel Studios wanted to use Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, as they did in Age of Ultron, and Scarlet Witch again in Civil War, they weren't allowed to make any mention of them being mutants or Magneto's children, the fact they were part of the X-Men, or even the X-Men's existence for that matter. Which is why in Age of Ultron, to avoid the whole mutant aspect, they referred to them as
enhanced.
Which is why there are 2 different Quicksilvers in 2 different Marvel films. It's kind of like how Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield both play Spider-Man. They're playing the same character, just in 2 completely different universes. Why isn't Spider-Man in the Avengers? There's no valid reason for this. Yeah, there is. He's owned by Sony, not Marvel Studios. I think that's a pretty valid reason. I've just realised after years and like 3 movies, why isn't Wolverine in the Avengers? Because Wolverine is owned by 20th Century Fox, not Marvel Studios. I've just been looking for some tweets about Magneto to use, and the majority of these tweets are this meme. And that is actually the only bright side to this video. The people who do understand who have the rights to Marvel films have made some great jokes over the years. Quick, Spider-Man, I need your help to rescue the other kids inside! Sorry, but I'm not part of the Avengers. Wanderer Pietro. Dad, there's an army of metal men trying to destroy the world. Please help. Magneto. Can't. Copyright. Parker, if you want to be in the next Avengers movie, I need a permission slip from your parents. But sir, alright, your parents are dead. No one invited me to the Avengers. Mystique should join the Avengers team because she's cool. That's not how it works. Why isn't Spider-Man in the Avengers? Like, come on. Not one of these tweets asking, why isn't Spider-Man in the Avengers has a reply. Like, it would be so much easier to Google it. Why do people tweet this stuff? Why isn't Deadpool in the Avengers? Now that is something I'd like to see. But then there's the Stan Lee cameos, which means everyone believes they all exist in the same universe and coexist with one another. I'm not saying they don't live in the same multiverse, there's a possibility for that, but living in the same universe, no, there's no way. That if you think that, you're just like, why isn't Wolverine in the Avengers movie? That makes me upset a little. If it makes you upset, why are you asking the question to Twitter? Why not ask the question to Google or Wikipedia or something that will give you an answer? I wonder if Professor X is going to be in the Avengers. I don't, because he's not going to be. Why isn't Wolverine in the Avengers? Because he's in the X-Men! I know this isn't something you should expect to be common knowledge, but just ask some people. I just can't take making these videos. They put me through genuine pain. I'm gonna go get my laptop and just binge watch some Come Dine With Me for the rest of the video. I'm sorry.
If you were to choose a particular comic strip hero, which one would you choose?
Okay, I would go with Mystique from the Avengers because she's somebody that can transform into anybody she wants to be. Lydia, what would you be?
I'd definitely be the...
This ruined Come Dine With Me! I'm joking, I don't watch that show. I just found out someone said that in the show and I spent 3 hours trying to track down that clip and that's why I'm still talking about it. But like seriously, if you know who Mystique is, you must have seen an X-Men film before, so why are you associating her with the Avengers? Why isn't Spider-Man in the Avengers or Justice League? Lol, poor guy. Someone just asked why isn't Spider-Man in Justice League? Oh my goodness. If Batman's so good, then how come he isn't in the Avengers? Can you even see me? I don't even know if you can see me. I've given up. I'm lying on the bed. You can check out the playlist for the rest of the videos like this one here. Usually these videos are rants. Today's was more me just like informing you about like Fox and Marvel's lawsuits. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, click subscribe here, check out my other social medias here and in the description below. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next time.